let's get into this big week. We have a very amazing eclipse, and I am really excited about it. But we got to get through Thursday, the second, the third. So today, tomorrow, there is no direct aspects within a 3-degree orb. The moon is just doing its thing in Libra, being all happy in Libra, getting us some balance. But really, where this energy starts this week, and personally, I know we've got some listeners in here. Put it in the chat if you've been feeling it. I don't know necessarily if the eclipse ever left, like the energy ever left, but it definitely got turned down a little bit. But it's starting to build up again. Like it's like this volume, this desktop audio control here. Like all of a sudden you hear no music, and then all of a sudden it's building and building, and you've got more music. And it recently it's just kind of been this hum, but it's definitely increasing as we head to 5/5 when the eclipse happens. But Venus has got a few conversations to go before we even get there. So that is where we are going to start today. We are going to start on Thursday, 5/4, talking about Venus and Gemini. So what she is going to do on 5/4, she is going to square Neptune and Pisces at 26 degrees, 15 minutes. That's going to happen midday. And then later on, right before midnight, she is also going to sextile Jupiter in Aries. That's going to happen at 27 degrees, 19 minutes. So she's got these two play on conversations, and no matter what, time span between when Venus squares Neptune and sextiles Jupiter, even though that time span has a little bit more breadth to it, Jupiter is a huge influence. And immediately when she squares this Neptune in Pisces, she is applying to this sextile with Jupiter. So it's really kind of the same mixture of conversations. It might be Venus, Gemini square Neptune, Pisces is like more of a private internal thing. And then it's like you go out and now you've got to bring Jupiter in Aries. You got to bring the world, or you have to bring yourself out into the world to get everything moving and rolling. But you're already preparing for that, even with this square, even when you're talking with Neptune. It's like you and Neptune are, Venus and Neptune are like planning this epic party. That plan started earlier in the day, and then the party actually happens, and that's where Jupiter and Aries comes in. So one of the things that this really does remind me of, and I'm actually going to open up, you guys, can we give a shout out to Tumbleweed Botanical for having this? Like, shout out to Tumbleweed. This is my new favorite thing. It is my leather tarot holder. I'm going to pull out some tarot and see if any cards fall as we're talking about this, just to get some extra color. So when I was sitting and thinking about Venus and Gemini square Neptune, and then this Jupiter and Aries sextile, I really got the image of Persephone. And Persephone spends half of the year down in the underworld with her husband, up for debate if she is happily married or not. And then the other half she spends above with her mother. And this is where the concept, and I'm not going to get into the whole story. That is what Google is for. That is what ChatGPT is for. You can go figure that out. But just stick with the concept. So this is where kind of the change of seasons come, right? Like when she's in the overworld, when she's here on Earth, it's beautiful, it's abundant, things are moving. When she's down in the underworld, everything is dried and dead, and we go through wintertime. So just to kind of set that stage. So I was really thinking, because Persephone is one of Venus's archetypes, I was really feeling into this and like trying to put myself in Persephone's position and he heads to the underworld, right? Like if her archetype is Venus, what do we know about Venus? Venus loves the luxury. Venus loves to be pampered. She loves all the finery and all of that. And then she is dropped to the underworld for 6 months out of the year. So if I'm Persephone and I'm sitting in this underworld, what am I fucking doing? That's my question. What am I doing? Because like the underworld is designed and created and, cultivated for the people that are there. Persephone is not of that world. She's not of that world. It's not her world. She didn't create, cultivate, and do that. She this is her realm, right? And so what is she going to do here? And especially with Gemini energy, especially with Venus in Gemini energy, like this can be this moment, this Venus in Gemini square Neptune in Pisces, where it can be this moment of like, for fuck's sake, can we do something different? Like, seriously, anything different at this point. Like, I'll take anything different at this point. And she's really trying to get, it's almost like, what's the word I want to use? Kind of like begging hasn't worked at this point, right? Begging has not worked. We can't get Neptune out from the depths. Begging is not working. So instead, she has to be a little more clever, which in Gemini, she is freaking clever. She can figure this out. She can whine about it. She can continue to whine about it. But actually, in order to get things accomplished, in order to actually do something different, she is going to have to. So cards drop. We've got the Magician, we have the World, and we have the Knight of Cups. In order to change, in order to do something different, she is going to have to get a little crafty. She's going to have to get a little freaking crafty, and she's good at that in Gemini. She is good at figuring out how to play on these emotions to get what she wants, to make the action happen that she wants, this Knight of Cups. She gonna make something happen. This square gonna make something come out of it. She's gonna make sure that that happens. And it's almost like having this conversation back to this Knight of Cups with Neptune, especially with the cup energy here. With Neptune, that's like, yo, bro, I know you got the good. Like, I know you got the Magician. You got all the good goods up in there. I want these goods, right? Like, let's get funky. Let's get bendy. Let's let our minds just kind of go and do all of that. And she's kind of goading back to this Knight of Cups. She's kind of goading Neptune on here. And Jupiter in Aries is like, fuck yes. Do it. It's exactly what we want. Yes, let's do it. Because it's Aries. It's especially at 27 degrees, right? We're in that last decan. It's like, yeah, this might be my final hoorah up in here. Let's get this going. Let's really make this world spin, right? Even here's Venus right here in the middle of this world. Like, please, let's go do something. And Venus really has this opportunity, if allowed, to teach Neptune something about like coming up from the depths, Neptune taking a moment to, instead of being in your underworld, your shell in the world, your deep ocean, like there is so much more out there that you can experience. We can stretch our minds. We can experience things different. There's so much out there that is possible if you just decide to come out and play. And it's like this energy of let's let the tides take us where we may. I'm not asking you to get out of the water, Neptune. No, Venus ain't asking you to get out of the water. Look, she don't want you to go down, Ten of Swords. She don't want you to go down. She don't want you to like not be able to be in your power. She likes you in your power. But she also wants to have a good time, right? She's coming into Leo. She's feeling those fires, or excuse me, she's going into Cancer. She's feeling that nurturing water. She wants to be there with you, but she also wants to have fun while doing it. Other piece and another 10 of Swords to come out here is Venus and Neptune together. There can be a lot of overconsumption. So watch for the overconsumption. And consumption in any form. Consumption can be even something as simple as food or buying things, spending money, your Amazon account, right? Like this Venus Gemini square Neptune and Pisces could be like all of a sudden you wake up 3 days later after this eclipse and Venus ingresses into Cancer, Two of Cups, and you're like, what the fuck did I do? Whoa. Okay. Well, I didn't need to go to Vegas and go to the little white chapel and get married, but apparently that's what I did. Yay. Now what am I going to do? Maybe I shouldn't have been so inebriated. So that is absolutely something to just kind of take into consideration and put into the mindset and the mental as we begin to get into these conversations. And thankfully it's here, you know, it's a moment, the eclipse energy, but again, this could be that point where things are so heavily coming in with this eclipse that it's like this energy is overpowering in this eclipse. And so this could be that moment where you're like, I just need to get away. I just need to break away. I need to like clear that space, but do it again, go back, do it in a very healthy way. Be supportive of yourself, be supportive of all the work that you've done, of where you've been and where you're going. The other thing that happens on the 4th is, and this is a perfect Venus Gemini square Neptune Pisces moment with a little Jupiter kicker on the back end, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 releases. So I know at least in America it does. I'm not sure about the other countries around the world, but in America, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 releases this day. And we've got, let's see, the Page of Cups. Like, there we go, Page of Cups. And we have the Six of Pentacles. Go spend a little money. Go have a little fun. Go do some things, right? Go to the movies. Go to a drive-in. Go to a drive-in. Go to the movies, spend a little money, maybe bring somebody with you, maybe gift somebody. Like the Six of Pentacles is ripe for gifting somebody. Same with the Page is gifting somebody like, hey, just call them up out of the random, right? And be like, hey, do you want to go? You want to go to Guardians of the Galaxy with me? Yeah, I'm not a big Marvel fan. Not me. I'm not saying this. I'm just in the conversation. But it sounds really fun. It sounds like something that is perfect for right before the eclipse, perfect for something fun to do. You know what? I'll even pay and I'll buy popcorn. I mean, that's what we're doing. We're going on the 5th. We're not going on Thursday. We're going on the 5th. But yeah, it's good times. I have seen some of the trailers and I'm interested to see, knowing that it did get released during this Scorpio lunar eclipse phase with this Venus, Gemini, Neptune, Pisces, Jupiter conversation. I'm very excited to see how all of that aligns. So now we're coming to the big one. We're coming to the big day. 5/5. Of course, it happens on 5/5, the day of absolute change, right? Portal energy. We have the Scorpio lunar eclipse. Before we get into the reading and I show the chart and I do all of those things, which, yes, my chart, thank you to my husband, we figured it out and my Virgo soul is very happy. On the 7th, Venus will ingress into Cancer. So